My name is Thea Westbrook. Last Tuesday, I sat in a lawyer's office and watched my entire family celebrate receiving millions from my grandfather Harold's will, while I held a yellowed envelope with nothing inside but a phone number. My sister Nora laughed so hard she had to grip my mother's arm. My Uncle Victor raised his coffee in a mock toast. The attorney just watched me quietly. To them, I was the punchline, the college dropout who sold shares for a living. They'd written me off years ago, and Grandpa's envelope was their final proof. But they didn't know what happens when the punchline picks up the phone and dials. Grandpa Harold, 82, built Westbrook Properties from a single duplex renovation into a commercial real estate empire spanning 3 counties. But to me, he was the man who kept sawdust in his shirt pockets and taught me how to sand a table edge until it felt like water. Every Sunday, his workshop. Every Sunday, just us. When he passed, my mother called at 6:14 a.m. to announce the will reading. At Grandpa's house the day before, Nora and Victor were already calculating their fortunes. My mother pulled me aside. He's leaving everything to the people who earned it. I remembered last Thanksgiving. My mother had announced Nora's tech success and Victor's developments, then turned to me, and Thea is still at that little furniture place. Selling chairs. Polite laughter cut deeper than silence. Grandpa Harold tapped his glass. Thea manages that entire store. Inventory, staff, accounts. That's called responsibility. My mother waved him off. Victor suggested I go back to school. Later, in his workshop, Harold told me, "Don't ever believe a diploma tells people who you are." I've taken care of things, Thea. I wish I'd asked what he meant. At the reading, the attorney distributed the estate. Victor got a lake house and $800,000. My mother got a Columbus apartment and $600,000. Nora and Grant got $500,000 plus investment portfolios. Cousins got education trusts. Then, to me, one sealed envelope to be opened only by me. Inside was a phone number and a line in Harold's careful block letters. "Call when you're ready. H.W." The room erupted. Nora snorted. "Must be for some shelter for you to live in." My mother turned away, shoulders shaking with laughter. In the parking lot, she caught up to me. "He knew you couldn't handle real money, Thea. That number is probably a financial counselor." Victor appeared and put a hand on my car. "If whatever's in that envelope has anything to do with the company, that goes through me. I'm the CEO." Alone in my Honda Civic, I dialed the number. It rang 3 times. "Hello. I've been expecting your call." I gripped the steering wheel. "Who is this?" "My name is Raymond Alcott. Your grandfather appointed me 20 years ago." Raymond spoke with measured calm. "Your grandfather established an irrevocable trust in 2005. You are the sole beneficiary." He explained that Harold had watched his family for 20 years. The one who came when I fell, not for what I can give, but because I fell. That's the one I trust with what I built. I was the only one who showed up, especially 4 months after his stroke, when I dropped my semester to care for him daily. If I hadn't called, the trust would have gone to charity permanently. The next morning, I met Raymond in Columbus. He confirmed the trust held 100% ownership of Westbrook Properties LLC, valued at approximately $38 million. Maggie Donnelly, the acting CEO, appeared on video. "I don't need to know if you have an MBA. I need to know if you're honest. Harold said you were. I'll stay on for 12 months to train you." She also revealed Victor had submitted over $200,000 in inflated expense reports. My family, however, was circling. Nora texted that any trust could be challenged due to Harold's age and stroke history. Victor called, warm and false. "Let's sit down, family to family. I can help you navigate it." I hung up. At a family meeting Thursday evening, Victor demanded to be named interim director. Nora stood, rehearsed. "Thea is not qualified to manage a cent, let alone a company. She runs a furniture store." My mother delivered the final word. "Giving everything to Uncle Victor is the best thing for everyone, including you." I stood. "I'll be meeting with my attorney this week. After that, you'll all have your answer." I walked out. Friday morning, I signed every page. Raymond slid over a smaller sealed envelope, Harold's personal letter. "Thea, I watched this family for a long time. I love them all. But I know who will build and who will burn through. You were the only one who came when I fell and never asked what I'd leave you. I'm not giving you money. I'm giving you responsibility. Take care of what I built and take care of yourself first. Harold. I invited the full family to Harold's house on Saturday at 2 p.m. Raymond accompanied me. Victor relaxed in Harold's armchair. She'll cry. She'll apologize. Then she'll hand it over, he whispered to my mother. At exactly 2 o'clock, I walked in with Raymond. He set his briefcase on the coffee table and spoke without notes. In 2005, Harold Westbrook established an irrevocable trust, separate from the will, not subject to probate, cannot be modified or challenged. The trust holds 100% ownership of Westbrook Properties LLC, current estimated value approximately $38 million. The sole beneficiary is Thea Marie Westbrook. She signed the acceptance documents 2 days ago. Ownership transferred immediately. This is effective and irrevocable. Silence. Victor's mouth opened and closed. My mother's hand went white on the armrest. Nora stared, her face the color of printer paper. Victor shot to his feet. This is fraud. My father did not have the mental capacity. He was 82. He had a stroke. Raymond placed 3 folders on the table. Harold completed independent mental capacity evaluations in 2005, 2015, and 2023. All by board-certified physicians. Victor didn't touch them. Nora stood so fast her knee caught the table. So we get a few $100,000 and she gestured at me, gets $38 million? She sells chairs. Raymond reminded them the will and trust were distinct legal matters. My mother turned to me, eyes wet. You won't do this to your own family. Your grandfather wanted us together. I held her gaze. You told me in that parking lot that Grandpa gave me the envelope because I couldn't handle real money. You told the whole family at Thanksgiving I was your disappointment. Don't talk to me about togetherness. Grant, ever calculating, pulled Nora's arm. We should go. The trust is irrevocable and there's a no contest clause. If we challenge, our inheritance gets frozen. Could be years. Nora looked for allies, found none, and stormed out. Victor left next, walking like a man leaving a hospital. My mother sat motionless, mascara smudged. Aunt Lillian, the quiet one, squeezed my shoulder on her way out. I always wondered why Harold kept that workshop going when nobody visited. Now I know someone did. Monday, I arrived at Westbrook Properties headquarters. Maggie didn't baby me. She walked me through 6 active developments and the personnel issue. Victor had hired 3 family members into no-show positions. His son Tyler, 24, had been on payroll 11 months without visiting a single job site. What would Harold have done? I asked. 90-day performance reviews. Anyone who doesn't meet standards gets terminated with severance. I signed 2 pending contracts that afternoon. 4 days later, Victor called. You fired my son. Tyler's on a 90-day review like 2 others. If he meets standards, he stays. Victor threatened to sue. I informed him Raymond had sent formal notice. The no contest clause would freeze his $800,000 and lake house for 2 to 3 years. He hung up. Nora called next, her voice flat. PropLink is going under. I need to talk. We met for coffee. I put almost all the $500,000 into the company. I have $40,000 left. She admitted she was wrong about the envelope. I told her Westbrook Properties needed a tech vendor for property management. If PropLink's product met Maggie's standards, she could pitch formally. I want you to compete. If your product is the best option, we'll sign a contract. That's business. She blinked. You want me to pitch? I want you to compete. 3 months passed. Victor contested the trust. The court reviewed the 3 capacity evaluations and signaled no foundation. The no contest clause froze his assets. His legal fees hit $80,000. His wife moved out. Tyler failed his review and was terminated. He later enrolled in an electrician apprenticeship. My mother burned through her $600,000 on old debts and appearances, leaving $50,000. Nora pitched PropLink. After 3 rounds of revisions and 2 technical audits, Westbrook signed a 6-month pilot contract for $120,000. Grant withdrew his divorce filing. 5 months in, Maggie dropped a proposal Harold drafted 2 years prior, a 36-unit affordable housing development in Holden. Victor had killed it, saying margins were too thin. Harold wanted this built, Maggie said. I approved it. We named it Harold's Corner. 6 months after the will reading, Victor called, his voice unrecognizable. I dropped the lawsuit. My lawyer told me straight, there's no case. He asked if there was a place for him at the company. I told him he'd go through the same hiring process as any external candidate. Application, interview, reference check. No special title, no CO. If you're hired, you start where the role fits. He accepted. 1 year later, Thanksgiving at Harold's house, my house now, though I couldn't call it that yet. My mother arrived early and started peeling potatoes without being asked. It was the first time in a decade she'd helped prepare a meal there. She didn't say, my daughter the CEO. She said, Thea makes a better turkey than I ever did. I took it. Nora and Grant came together. PropLink had converted to a full 2-year vendor agreement. Victor arrived with Tyler, who drove a truck he bought with his own money. Victor had gone through the interview panel and been offered an operations manager position. He took it without argument. Carol had come back. They were in counseling. Aunt Lillian sat beside me and whispered, Harold's watching. After dinner, I stepped outside alone to the workshop. I tugged the pull chain. The single bulb filled the room with warm yellow light. Everything was where he left it, hand planes on the pegboard, sandpaper sorted by grit, the maple workbench worn smooth from decades of his hands. I pulled up his stool and sat. The room smelled like sawdust and linseed oil. I didn't tell this story to brag about $38 million. That money is a responsibility, not a trophy. The thing I actually wanted, the thing money can't replace, was Harold sitting right here showing me how to read the grain of a piece of wood. But he left me something bigger, his belief. He chose me when nobody else did. And he was right, not because I'm brilliant, but because I didn't walk away when it was easier to leave. If you're sitting somewhere right now and the people who are supposed to love you have decided you're not enough, I'm not going to promise you'll get $38 million. But I'll tell you this, your worth isn't decided at anyone's dinner table. It's built in the quiet hours when nobody's watching. I set 3 boundaries for myself. 1, I don't explain my worth to people who've already decided I have none. 2, I don't let anyone use my past to draw the borders of my future. 3, I don't cut off my family, but I don't let them cross my boundaries without consequence. Love and access are not the same thing. I put my hand flat on the workbench. The wood was cool and smooth. There were dents and scratches from 40 years of Harold's projects. My hand fit right over the worn spot where his used to rest. Thank you, Grandpa. The bulb flickered once. I smiled, pulled the chain, and walked back across the gravel to the house where the kitchen window glowed warm, and I could hear someone laughing inside. It sounded like family, the real kind.